Man, let me tell you, it is an egg sandwich, egg everything bagel toasted with cream cheese kind of day. I am ravenous right now. And I knew when I left the house this morning that when I was coming back from getting some errands done this morning, I'm like, that's what's happening. So, leaving, I still train a couple clients now. I've been training them for years and years and years, and I'm kind of, unfortunately, fading myself out of it because I really don't have the time anymore. But the kicker is that I love it. I love it, and I love helping people. And these are a very select few people that I've been training for years, where I promised to get them to a certain point, and I've always been a man of my word, and I like to keep my word. So, told them I'd get them to a certain point. You know, it's like four or five people left. Most of them are there, if not damn near close. I'm doing the best I can to get them all at least on track to getting exactly where they want to be. Quick enough because results are happening for them pretty much on par to my timer running out, you know, of just being able to do it anymore, unfortunately. And I say that with a hard heart because I really do enjoy it, and I've loved it my entire life, helping people in training and so on and so forth. But speaking of loving what you do, that's kind of what I want to talk about today. So it is a rest day. I have a ton of meal prep to do when I get back to the house. And I'd like to discuss, how do I phrase it? I know how to phrase it. It's just, I'm about to slam my blinker on, and then we're going to be riding smooth, because I got to get onto the parkway. So, instead of interrupting this lovely speech and profound knowledge of the universe with, figured I'd just let that happen first. And we're good. So, what I wanted to discuss today is something that I was thinking about recently. Let's talk about love and apologies, right? Love and apologies. So, this topic came to my head a couple days ago when I was with my girl and her family at a really nice steakhouse. And my clumsy butt, first thing I managed to do was knock over a wine glass. Now, there was nothing in there yet, so it wasn't a big deal. I'm talking we just sat down. First thing they hear is just shattering glass of a beautiful, beautiful, elegant wine glass, right? Now, you know, I'm not embarrassed. Things happen, whatever. Excuse me. So I tell them, like, oh, my bad, guys. And I make a lighthearted joke about it, something along the lines of, you know, it's a nice place, people usually don't do this, so that's, you know, here's some good luck for you guys, because you really don't get that. And they didn't care, nobody's upset. So, on the way home from dinner, my girl asked me, she goes, how come you never apologize? Like, you never say sorry. And she didn't mean it in a starting an argument kind of way, or anything like that. She's genuinely trying to figure out my head, because I'm a different kind of guy, and I'm trying to figure my head out too. So, I mean, join the club. You know, it's a zoo up there, but it's like a contained zoo, you know? There's, you know, the animals aren't running loose. They're in their correct corridors. They're in their, the reptiles are with the reptiles, the birds are with the birds. Penguins are over there. We have the penguins. They're all hanging out. But it's still a zoo, you know? There's lions and tigers and bears and a koala up there when I'm taking a nap, when I'm going to sleep at night. So it's full of animals. It's full of wild animals. But she asked me, she goes, you know, why do you never say sorry? And I was thinking about it. I'm like, And I was thinking about it. I'm like, do I say sorry? I go, you know, I really don't. I never do. if I'm genuinely sorry about something, I do. Of course, if there's something wrong, I messed up, I did something stupid, I apologize, I'm sorry, and I'll own up to it every single time, no matter what. I always believe that's the best course of action. Not trying to lie and skate things by, no matter what it is, even if it's something stupid. You know, if you messed up, own up to it. But I like to treat sorries like love. Now, we live in a society where it's too commonly thrown around, the word love, the word sorry, everything. Everything gets just put on this ridiculous pedestal for no reason whatsoever. But what people don't realize is that it devalues what that word, what that thing actually means. You know, look at bodybuilding. It used to be incredibly rare to see somebody who was jacked up. But, you know, nowadays, let's say somebody young who was jacked up, right? But nowadays, because of social media, unfortunately, you have kids that abuse drugs, abuse really trenbolone. That's the big boy one, right? That's the one everybody's hyping up. They abuse that stuff, and now to see a jacked up 16-year-old kid, it's not nearly as rare as it should be. And I love that everybody's training and kicking ass in the gym. It's awesome. But I just mean from a health standpoint, you know? So using whatever, but abusing is an issue. Now, when it comes to just things that are far too common when they shouldn't be, is saying I'm sorry is a weird one, right? Because when you're apologizing for something, there's a reason behind what you're saying. But people say I'm sorry, and you know, they bumped in, oh, sorry. But then they'll, you know, cheat on their wife and go, sorry. Oops. You know? And it's giving it the same rationale as I bumped into you at the grocery store. You know, oops, my bad. Or slightly walking in front of somebody. Sorry. You know, I used to be pretty guilty of that, where when I was a young kid, I didn't have, you know, when you're younger, you're always criticizing yourself a lot more, right? And I didn't have the self-confidence nearly I do nowadays. But that just comes with time and experience and just wholeheartedly accepting and unapologetically being yourself. That breeds self-confidence within you. So I was always a victim of saying, I'm sorry, trying not to ruffle feathers. Oh, if it's okay with you, I'll do this. What time do you want to do? Is that all right? But once you start living life for yourself, man, it's a whole different ballgame. So the I'm sorry's might be a hard way to understand it, but I believe love is the best way to really prove my point here. Now, everybody, you'll see on Instagram, you'll see on social media, everything, people saying like, oh my God, I love this sandwich, it's to die for. You have to try this ice cream place, I love it, it's the best. You know, I'd kill for a Klondike bar, right? I love this, I love cigarettes, I love fucking alcohol, whatever it is. But then you go home and you tell your wife you love them. You know, I love Pop-Tarts, I love this. It's like, you know, at what point does that word become devalued? Because you're essentially, when you say you love your wife, or you love your dog, or you love something, your kids, something that actually deserves, you know, the stamp of that word, you're realizing you've dramatically lowered the standard of as to what that word means. You know, you tell your wife you love her, and then you tell her you said the same thing about a Pop-Tart, you know, an hour ago. Because, well, you know, are you just using that word so loosely, or has it become just so strange nowadays to not try to overhype everything? Because we live in a world where everything is overhyped for the better, and we're always trying to put ourselves down as far as we can at the exact same time. And man, they butt heads, and they butt heads something fierce. So pick and choose your words carefully, and ask yourself, you know, let's just say let's just take your mother for instance, right? If your mother's an intense smoker, she says, I love cigarettes, they make me feel good. right? And then 10 minutes later, she says, I love you, honey, have a good day. You know, of course not, but just giving the word equal value, she's comparing you to a pack of cigarettes. Not even a pack, just one. Is saying she loves you as your child as much as she loves a cigarette. You know, and of course that's not the case. However, when we just devalue words so much, that's where this problem ensues. You know, I like Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts are great. I love my girl. I love my dog. You know, I love the gym. I love training. Like when I say I love you guys and I appreciate it, you know what I mean? Do I know each and every one of you? Of course not. I have no idea each and every one of you. But what I will say is I love the whole community that we're building here. Everything as a whole. I love positive environments, good people as a whole, you know? And I appreciate all the support immensely from everybody. But devaluing a word is just a very funny thing and a very funny conversation, man, because it sounds ridiculous until you put the split comparisons next to each other, you know? Tell your wife you love her as much as a Pop-Tart, because all of a sudden, excuse me? You know, that's not a fight that's going to go well, and it's not a fight you're going to win. So, my recommendation is this. Pick and choose very carefully the things you love in this life. And I mean you love it. Can't live without it. It's life-changing for you. And if something happened, you don't know what to do, you know? Imagine each and every one of us, if, as messed up as it sounds, we lost both of our arms and legs, right? And you're walking around like a torso. And there's people that live like that, and it's hard to watch. But imagine you go from being an active athlete, you're in the gym 5-6 days a week, training, loving every second of it, to now you're bedbound for the rest of your life. You got to ask yourself, what would you do? You know, that's love. That's love for something. Somebody who goes to the gym and dabbles and something happens to them, of course they'll be distraught, they'll be destroyed, but not because they can't work out anymore, because of, you know, their life being uprooted. So I'm going to leave my rest day wisdom with this. Is if you're not sure what to love first, the first thing you have to love is yourself, man. Because if you don't, you'll never be able to actually love anything at all. All right? I think that's solid. You know, just like today's mission, I'm going to go get a nice bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup, and nice toasted egg, everything bagel with some cream cheese. And it's so easy. It's like you would say, like, I love egg sandwiches. Of course, they're delicious. But, you know, that's what the word delicious is for. How do you feel about egg sandwiches? Oh, my God, they're delicious. Right? You don't love them. They're delicious. Of course they're delicious. If you live for egg sandwiches, you might be a little bit more Long Islander than I am, but, you know, you might want to get that checked out. So, you guys, have a great day. Hope you enjoyed the rest of the car ride conversations, man. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for keeping me company as I sit here and talk to myself and scaring all the other drivers away around me. Them thinking I'm just talking to myself for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it is. And I'll see you tomorrow for an awesome shoulder day.